Russell Wilson believes it is essential that the Seattle brass listen to his input on hiring a new offensive coordinator. We talked about this the other day, but maybe you missed it. Brian Schottenheimer poleaxed. He was given his walking papers by Pete Carroll, even though Seattle set several franchise records this season. They got progressively worse as the season went on, and they got punched in the face by the Rams because you can ram it all day and you can ram it all night, even in Seattle. Now, Russell Wilson, not happy, obviously, with the shakeup, but he ranted that this is a critical point in his career, and he wants to decide, essentially, certainly what he implied there, the person to take over as the guardian of the Seahawks offense. Now, Russ believes that he has to be on the same page with Pete Carroll, implying that he would be a unhappy camper. He would be sulking. Sulky Russ. All right, so let us discuss. Is this a good idea or a bad idea for Russell Wilson to be allowed carte blanche to handpick the Seahawks' next offensive coordinator? All right, so this is not just a bad idea. It is atrocious. It is atrocious is what it is. So on this one, I've got pie, wagging, and fork. And we will tie all these things together. We'll connect them together. Now, first of all, Russell Wilson, what are you doing? All right? Do we need to have an intervention here? The streets in Seattle have been talking, and they're not saying kind things about Russ. Something happened, we're not sure what, within the last year and a half or so. He has evolved, right? Now, not in a particularly great way. Many people taking shots. He's become, the E word implies here, entitled, unlikable, and also always has this kind of like phony type feeling when you listen to him talk. We play a lot of Russell Wilson drops on the show from things he's done over the years, and he's got that vibe like he's a $3 bill. You know, that kind of
time for y'all go to bed.
No, I can't go to bed. I'm the overnight guy. I got to stay up all night. That's the gig.
Hey, Seattle, we got a deal.
Yeah, okay. Well, he wants a deal. Now, there is no I in me. There is in pie, right? There is in pie. And there's no I in team either, right? There's no I in team. Now, Russell Wilson wants to complete control, apparently, over the pie, right? Like, the whole thing about, you know, the cooking up the ingredients, getting all the ingredients and all that. Russell Wilson has been rewarded with the riches of Solomon. Good for him. He deserves it. He's been very productive for Seattle, and he's the greatest quarterback in franchise history, et cetera, et cetera. But here's the deal. My position is simple. If Russell Wilson wants to be the guy that hires the offensive coordinator, and that's his goal, and maybe it is. Maybe it is his goal. He said he wants to own a team. He wants to be an NFL executive. Then he can retire and apply for a front office gig. I'm sure that someone would hire him, give him the opportunity. But until that happens, slow your roll, right? Bad luck. You can't always get what you want.
Mr. Unlimited. You got to be unlimited.
Now, secondly, Pete Carroll, he enters the chat. Good old Pete. He needs to put down the peace pipe and nip this thing in the bud. Now, I know Carroll's the hipster coach. He's the oldest coach in the NFL, but he doesn't act like that. He does the yoga, the Pilates, the meditation, all that stuff. But it's one thing that we want to empower the players. And all that is fair and good, makes for a nice tweet or post on Instagram. But in this case, the player selecting the coach is not healthy. Right? We're talking about the tail wagging the dog. Wag, 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 wagging the dog. Seahawks, they don't need to be controlled by Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson, as good as he is, at some point, someone else is going to be playing quarterback for the Seattle Seahawks. He's not the forever quarterback, and he's an employee. Now, again, if he wants to be in management, I'm sure they would love to hire him, and he could become an executive and all that, but he's not now. And from my perspective, as an impartial arbitrator of sport, it is a mistake for one main reason. Right? There's a lot of reasons it's a mistake, but there's one main reason. There needs to be a separation of powers. It is rudimentary. Right? Now, obviously, players have to buy in. That's a basic part of this. You have to buy in. But buying in does not mean choosing the coach, right? You don't get to choose the furniture when you go to a hotel. They give you the furniture to stay for the night. Now, knowing your role and playing your position, this is basic stuff. Those are the key things, the tenets, the ingredients, however you want to describe it, of success. Unfortunately, we're seeing it more and more. The lines become blurred. You need to get glasses like I'm wearing here, especially when a headline star like Russell Wilson has assumptions and these perceived rights and privileges because he's the starting quarterback for the Seattle Seahawks. Oh, my God. All right, final thought. So it is the same argument we have made recently about Deshaun Watson. We talked about Deshaun Watson and his situation in Houston, and he wants to pick out the general manager. He didn't get that. He wanted it. He wanted to pick out the coach. He might get that. And he's had a passive-aggressive hissy fit, Deshaun Watson. Now, Russell Wilson, he at least put his name on it. I saw some quotes that came directly from Russell Wilson. But the NFL as a league is at a fork in the road. What do I mean by that? All right, if they continue to go down the path they're going down right now, they become the NBA. Am I speaking in hyperbole? Maybe that's not a bad thing. Maybe you think that's a good thing. But LeBron James wakes up today and says, I don't like Frank Vogel. Frank Vogel's fired. He controls the show. And it's the same thing around the superstar player. Kawhi Leonard says, you know what? I'm with the Clippers. I don't like this Ty Lue guy anymore. I'm over him. Gone. Get out of here. Pack your bags. See you later. That's how the NBA does business. That is called standard operating procedure in the NBA. That's not how the NFL operates. That's not how they roll in the NFL. And so if the NFL wants to be a league where the players conspire and James Harden can work behind the scenes to get his way out of Houston and eat a bunch of donuts and go to strip clubs and then hang out with the guys he wants to play with, or at that fork in the road, instead of going left, they can go right? Put the kibosh on this. Avoid going down a hazardous path. Don't have to do it, right? Again, put your foot down, say no. Coaches have to have the ability. Am I wrong in this? Coaches have to have the ability to criticize. You're supposed to coach up players, but some guys respond to tough love. And if you are selected by said player, right? If the player picks you, doesn't that complicate it? I mean, how would it not? Now, I understand. The financial dynamic and Russell Wilson is his own enterprise. I get it. I understand. I'm not that naive. Now, as they say, that's what the money's for, though, right? Russell Wilson has been paid $181 million from the Seahawks. He's got another $50 million guaranteed coming his way. Deshaun Watson, $156 million contract with the Texans, $110 million guaranteed. You can recommend someone. I'm saying you can't recommend someone, but these demands and these implications like, oh, if you don't hire the guy I want, oh, man, let me tell you something. Oh, you are going to regret that. That's what these things are being implied by the star quarterbacks who are demanding they get what they want.
I know that I'm a great football player. I know I've been great. I know I will be great. I know I'll continue to be great.
Yeah. Just ask him. He'll tell you exactly what's going on.